Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 35 of This Song Fucking Sucks. Today's business, thissongfuckingsucks.com. It's a website. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, and, of course, tell a friend. Well, somebody told me you had a boyfriend who looked like a girlfriend that I had in February of last year. It's not confidential. I've got potential. Today we listened to Somebody Told Me by The Killers, and this song fucking sucks.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's everybody's favorite time for everybody's favorite show with this zany co-host, JP Von Hitchberg, and that other guy. It's that show. Yeah, this song fucking sucks.
The podcast where we listen to a song deemed questionable, objectionable, and generally unlistenable and ask the question, why? JP, what's going on?
Hey, how I'm trying to get my voice back in shape here. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, your voice sounds a lot better.
Oh, that's because I've been sitting here in my apartment, not talking to anybody for days. So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody's fucking favorite stupid fucking song.
This is great because we referenced this in our very first episode. Somebody told me.
Oh man,
I hate this song.
I know.
I've always hated this song.
Me too. It's been one of the ones where when we have a guest, where I just keep fucking hoping they're gonna pick it. Nobody picks it.
Yeah, I got a couple of those.
But this one is like one that I've never seen the video until today, and that just put it like way over the top for me.
Bunch of pretentious dickbags.
Which the band itself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody. Fuck them. But the singer's the worst.
Yeah, man. God.
Just their fucking hair.
Yeah.
I want to kick them all in the dick for their hair. Have these guys disappeared yet? They've disappeared, right?
I think that Brandon Flowers has kind of gone off and done his own solo stuff these days.
Oh, okay.
So I believe, I'm not exactly sure where they've gone from here, but the last album they put out was in 2012, so that is a good 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
But they only have 4 records.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think there's any official breakup or anything like that, but...
Right. Not currently active.
But Brandon himself is doing stuff, I guess.
Right. I'm sure they're all just floating around,
Yep.
living off the interest.
Yep. Must be nice.
Or in this case, the disinterest. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Like what I did
I like
there?
how you did that. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Wordplay. Almost as good as ass play.
Well...
Somebody put that on a shirt.
Well, I don't know about that.
I said almost.
That one begs a little inspection. Oh! Kid's gross.
Speculum.
It's fucking gross. All right, so... Brandon Flowers
So-
and the Killers, somebody told me that I had a boyfriend on your girlfriend's February.
So, a couple of things here. First of all, where I was in my life when this
Yes.
was going on was I was working at a record store.
Yes.
Living that Empire Records life. But to me, there was a very frustrating part about it where it's interesting coming from music school and having that kind of group of music-obsessed people obsessed with making it,
Yes.
and then going to a world where they're non-creatives who just listen to it and collect it. And you'd think there's an overlap there. It's very, very different. Those people who are collectors and obsessed with it but aren't creators, they love stuff that sucks.
Yeah.
And let me kind of delve into that deeper. Like, they like stuff that sounds shitty, you know, where we would kind of maybe think about, well, you know, it's this guy's out of tune. This guy, you know, the infidelity and stuff, and they're like, no, man, there's a
realness to this.
An aesthetic to shit that's just like...
Fuck the Strokes. That's exactly how the Strokes made it.
Yeah.
But who was first? These guys or the Strokes?
I think the Strokes.
I think the Strokes were too, because I think that this was the this band is a spawn of the Strokes thing.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. It was this time when the trend was this
fucking disco
indie.
shit. Ugh.
Disco indie. This Franz Ferdinand.
Franz Ferdinand was way cooler than these guys, though.
They were.
They had some really cool things going on in there.
Yeah, they had some good guitar. They had guitar.
Yeah, there's definitely theirs was. I actually had the first two Franz Ferdinand records,
but this was the trend, and it was so weird to me. It was so, especially this band, because it was so kind of non-melodic, and we listened to it 3 times a day for 4 or 5 years.
Oh, at the store? Oh my God.
And not so much because, we were required to, and it was, we were promoting it, because everyone I worked with,
they loved it,
were what ultimately became hipster, but this is before we really called them hipster.
Right before the hipsterdom broke out.
Right.
It was already happening in Williamsburg, though. And then like the East Coast, the hipster thing was already happening. But I remember at this time, hipsters were starting.
Yeah.
Because I remember going to like a couple parties of friends of mine in the hills, which is not Silver Lake. It was in the fucking Hollywood Hills. And people would come wearing, they only smoked fucking American Spirits. And they would wear these really ridiculous suit coats.
Yeah.
And so me and my best friend at the time and bandmate, we were just like, but we did use the word hipster for sure.
Right.
But
and it was floating around.
But it wasn't what it is not at all.
Yeah, it wasn't an established thing. All these people, they're hipsters now.
Yeah. Oh man.
All these people I'm talking about, now they're hipsters.
They're twirling their mustaches.
But at the time they were just indie nerds. Although some of them I'm still friends with.
Yeah, me too. I got some hipster friends. And I'll call them hipsters right to their fucking faces.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, hipster. Go eat your fucking vegan sausage.
But did not understand the musical taste.
No.
I'm trying to think of some of the other bands that were in this vein that I was listening to. But let's hear where you were when you started hearing this.
So, I had just moved out here. We were trying to make it, and we were trying to sort of fit in with what was going on, but still put our stamp on it. And so we were listening and sort of referencing and being influenced by a certain sound, but this wasn't the sound. And the disco beat thing was, every time we go play shows with people, everyone's playing fucking disco beats.
Always.
Which was like, as soon as a band went into a disco beat, was the moment where I would immediately be like, up, you fucking posers. And I would start yelling and screaming.
Totally.
I'd be like, come up with an original idea, you fucking poser. I was such a dick. Still am.
No, you're right.
I know, and so when I remember when these guys came out, I was, Eric and I we were consistently listening to the radio to know what was happening. And our stuff was way more rock stuff that we were doing. It was more like, Green Day, Foo Fighters sort of thing. So there was like the pop punk elements and the rock, Weezer things. And so...
Which you could still do at the time, too.
Which was technically not really modern, because those bands that he and I were being influenced by were already starting to become classic rock bands. Honestly.
But they had all done something very valid at the time.
In 2003 and 2004, they were contemporaries, but they were also established acts, which now looking back on it now is like, fuck, like, duh, you kind of like, oh, well, I should have saw that coming.
Yeah.
And then this would come out, and I remember hearing this. I pulled into the driveway in the car, and I just remember hearing it start off. And I was like, what the fuck? This sounds awesome. Because it sounds like a Rammstein song in the very beginning.
Oh.
Like it's like, whoa, these fucking synthesizers. This is so fucking cool. What the fuck is that? It sounded like Rammstein. And like it has that big build. You're like, this is going somewhere. Oh my God, please. And then it breaks into that. And I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck just happened? I went, oh my God! So I said something fucking obnoxious in my car to myself. And then I sat there listening to it, and then oots, oots, oots. And then when he gets that fucking one note thing, and I was like, oh my God.
He is such a one note guy.
It's just like dot 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 dot. It's always on one note, and then you're just going up and down, an interval or two to make it less one notey. He'll go da 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 da. So, okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't count because it's, just one little moment, and it's not even in this big emphasized place. It's not making any contour or anything. I specifically remember having that debate with a friend of mine and going, this song is like just one note. He's like, no, it's not.
Yes.
It's like, there are other notes, but what's happening is they're not in a place that means anything.
Yes.
And he's putting an emphasis so hard on this one note. He'll throw in another note in some unimportant place. I like music.
Yeah.
I like melody with contour, melody that goes somewhere.
And
he does this so much. It's like so his thing.
At this time, it was the only song I'd ever heard. And I wasn't about to run out and go fucking buy the album and listen to more songs.
For sure.
But I remember talking to my bandmate, and I said, have you heard this fucking song? And when he heard it, his reaction was exactly the same as mine. It was like, we're just like, oh,
good.
Oh my God, this fucking singer. And so we did kind of thought, this is never going to take off. Whenever I have that thought, it's like the Papa Roach syndrome for me. It's like, no way, no way this is ever going to work. This is the worst. And then, millions of records are sold. And I'm like, I have no understanding of this industry whatsoever. Every year, I think it becomes more and more apparent to me that I don't know shit about the music business. Like, I understand music because I went to school and I know how to analyze it and I can study it and I can break it down, and I think I'm a fucking genius when it comes to saying, I know what I'm talking about because I can study it, and this is bad. If someone wrote this and gave it to my teacher in class, they would say, no, this sucks. Try harder and give me better melody and blah, blah. So in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm validated in every way to understand that this is crap. But in the real world, which has nothing to do with what is good and bad, I'm totally wrong. I'm like wrong every fucking time.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, so it's like, should I just write shitty songs and like try less, or like, then how would I know if it's going to work? If it's so bad, is that what's going to be the thing that makes it through? Like, how does anybody, the PR guys, they're like, you know what, this sucks enough. I think we can get this on the radio.
Yeah, I think it has so much less to do with the music and so much more to do with style. Style without substance. Mm-hmm. Oh, these guys, how they look and how they act, how people feel when they show up. They think they're cool. That's a lot of what I see when we watch the video. It's like, these guys definitely think they're fucking cool.
Yeah, oh man.
And I think they look like a bunch of dickheads.
The intensity of the drummer in this video, he is so fucking intense. And I'm like, what's going on here? What the fuck? Okay, so the thing about this song and the video is that there's a certain sense of urgency about this, the music. And the feel, and like, the music's intense. Like, there's all this tension building, and it's just, there's a lot going on. And then you have, most of the guys are just kind of standing there and playing like we're way too cool for school. And you got Brandon Flowers, who there's something that's sort of, he's disconnected to the intensity at all, and he's just sort of flatly there doing his thing, thinking, I'm a fucking rock star.
Blasé.
And look I can sing one note, and like, this is enough. There's something about it that for me doesn't make sense because the music is intense and it's building to something. There's just like this churning going on, and then he's just like da 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 da. You're like, wait, what? There's no passion behind what he's saying. It makes me think of like a marionette or something. Like, just, I don't know how to. It's like he's just like a puppet or something, where he's like, la 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 la. I don't know. I can't. Something doesn't make sense.
I totally read you on that. I am going to show less emotion and be Captain Robotic Pants.
Yes.
Because I'm just so cool. And I was reading about how he was really influenced by like New Order and Depeche Mode, Pulp. It was a very like Britpop kind of thing. Hence the fake British accent.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There's only one band, in my opinion, that could ever get away with doing it, and even that is questionable, is Green Day.
Yep.
From the very beginning, Billy Joe was always singing with that fucking accent.
But it was a different kind of British accent,
But it was also different, too, in the sense that the shit he listened to was all from fucking England, so he was, like, imitating his influences. It
was very Sex Pistols, Cockney punk thing.
And he was playing that in that style, like,
and that's stuff that I like.
Yeah.
It's like he's imitating things that I like. This guy's imitating things that not so much.
I just imagine that when Brandon Flowers is fucking, he's like just deadpan face, and he's got like zombie eyes, and he's just like, do you like that? Does that feel good? I think I'm gonna come! I'm done. Thank you. Have a nice day.
But I think at the same time, he's like, God, coming is so passe.
Yeah.
Just so up his own ass. Yeah. Like, God, this is so boring fucking you.
He reads like a person who has no emotions whatsoever. He has sort of a American Psycho quality to him, but not in a cool way. and even the Patrick Bateman thing. Patrick was a fucking dork and a douchebag. If you understand the book or understand the concept of what that book was about, he was a fucking loser. But people emulate Patrick Bateman because they thought it was so cool that he was psycho. Oh, you know, right. But it's like, dude, he was a fucking loser. Just like this. Like this guy is, I just can't imagine, you know, if you were dating him, like if he would never tell you he loves you. In fact, he doesn't love anybody except...
I don't think he loves anything.
He loves nothing. He doesn't even love his own music.
I think he probably loves...
craft beer?
How over everything he is, you know? It's like, oh, this. Lots of eye rolling.
Yeah.
Everything is so last week.
Oh, I have to shower?
God, showers are so 2002. So other bands, I think we mentioned the Strokes already, but Kaiser Chiefs, remember them?
I remember the name, yes.
Kasabian.
Yep, okay.
Block Party, Interpol.
Yep.
I fucking hated them. They're another one just like, oh, don't care, fuck, this sucks. Fucking assholes. Snow Patrol, The Bravery.
Oh, I remember. Oh, I hated all these bands.
I did not care for The Bravery. And also, She Wants Revenge. Fuck all you disco indie cock monkeys.
Yeah, every one of those. Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
You know, I can't relate to any. Whatever this is, I can't relate to it. At least to me, in this particular song, there's a lot of cool things going on in the music itself. Like, there
are. Now, listening back is like...
Yeah. Me too, and I was surprised when I listened to it this morning. I was like, oh, man, those synthesizers, I thought it from the very beginning, and I still think that those synthesizers, yeah, they're fucking way overpowering in the music itself, and they're fucking loud as shit, but they're doing some cool things, and back then, especially before the Sawtooth wave in every goddamn song became the norm...
Yeah.
There was that sort of airy sounding, you know, wind rushing out of the doors on the spaceship sound.
Yeah.
That was cool back then because it did to me sound like Rammstein, and it sounded, you know, European, I guess, or something like that. And now it's so overdone that when I hear that sound, it's like...
I don't know. I still don't like it. I didn't like it then. It sounds like a video game or the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers
But
thing
then the cool thing, the way the guitar's doing all the eighth note strumming stuff and like building some tension here and there. It creates certain things I never noticed. And even the bass player is doing some neat things, like little lines here and there.
The bass player is definitely, he's holding the whole thing together.
And all that being said, as soon as Brandon Flowers opens his mouth, it's over for me. As soon as his mouth opens, it's like...
I just hate his style of singing, and it was the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone was doing
all those bands were unlistenable back then.
The fake British and the no affect.
That's exactly. You know? That's what I was exactly. This Brandon Flowers. That's where the discontent is for me. That flat affect. He's sort of zero affect way of singing, where I'm hitting the notes, but there's nothing behind what I'm saying. Yeah. Nothing.
No
emotion in what I'm singing. And if you look at him, and it's so obvious, like this guy doesn't give a fuck about anything at all. Yeah. No one.
He believes his own hype.
Yeah, he's
it's like maybe he's autistic.
Sure,
you know, that's like no emotional. But that kind of thing where it seems like there's just he's incapable of expressing emotion. So what should he do? He should be a singer.
Yeah,
what the fuck? Put this asshole in a programming job. And I think another thing that bothered me, kind of getting back to how I wasn't so into the synths, was how you could hear, like, guitar was kind of disappearing in this music. Like, these bands would have guitar, but first of all, they would usually be jangly. Yep. And I'm just like, come on, I'm not, I want the guitar, when they're jangly, right? They don't cover the same kind of structural space. You listen to this song, and what the guitar does, it sits over the song. It's more of a texture, the bass is covering most of the structural stuff, and then some of the bullshit synthy stuff is filling in so much space that the guitar just kind of sits on it, just like in the 80s. Yes. That was a big thing in the 80s at least with the 80s pop stuff. And I don't like that. I like the guitar being a big structural part of the song, sitting above the bass and really laying down this bed of musical stuff that the melody can lie on. I like that. That's why I play guitar.
Yeah.
So like when a huge trend of the opposite started happening, it was like, music. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of like rock, guitar and rock music to me is synonymous, and this I don't know if this is rock music. What is this kind of music?
Yeah,
this is some weird. At the time was a modern new wave disco thing. It wasn't a rock music.
The bummer is, like, I like disco.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I like disco. I think I like the Bee Gees, and that's about as far as it goes for me.
Bee Gees are good. When you go through, a lot of those songs are really, really cool. Anything with Nile Rodgers. Guy's a motherfucker. Again, great guitar. Mm-hmm. But, disco is actually really closely related to funk stuff. There's a lot of funky things. There's a lot of great, guitar lines and horn lines. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it was played by real instruments and,
Black people.
But this kind of stuff just had small elements of that, but the rest was a lot closer to maybe like a 80s synth pop new wave kind of thing.
Because I didn't listen to... We might have already talked about this before, but in the 80s when I was little kid, I definitely was fascinated by all the videos on MTV that were hair bands and the guys that looked like girls and like all that sort of posturing of rock and roll music. And then when Guns N' Roses came around, I was like, whoa, these guys are way cooler than anybody else on the scene right there.
Exactly.
But anything else, unless it was like Peter Gabriel who was doing those goddamn weird videos and stuff, where I was, as a kid, I was like, it was just cool to watch those videos, and the songs were actually pretty good. But when it comes to like The Cure and Joy Division and all those bands where it never grabbed me, never hit me, and so when it made this resurgence back in the 2000s, I guess it was, I totally was like lost on me, and I was like, this is lame.
I like The Cure because at least I like their hits, because those songs they're songs. They have great melody.
Well, yeah, love song, right? Anybody else ever plays it, it sounds great. But when Robert Smith, it just sounds like someone's crying every time he opens his mouth.
That is true. That's his vibe.
Whining.
But it took me a while to at least kind of understand the Smiths.
Oh, the Smiths,
for so long I was just like, what the fuck?
Morrissey.
Now I'm kind of like, all right, I guess I get it. I guess it's okay.
Morrissey, Depeche Mode.
Yeah. Nope.
You like Depeche Mode?
Nope.
Duran Duran?
Duran Duran's fine, because they have songs.
Actually, Duran Duran, well, fuck, dude, that bass player on Rio? Oh my god. Yep. That bass line is so fucking awesome.
He's got a lot of great bass playing.
I remember being like, what? I never noticed that when I was growing up, but man, oh man, the bass player in Duran Duran, I don't know which Duran it is, but...
I forget his name.
Johnny
Duran? Do you remember there's a band called Power Station?
No, I do not.
So that was kind of like a super group with Robert Palmer and that bass player from Duran Duran, and I think...
Wow, I'm going to have to find that for sure. I want to hear this.
Yeah, they do a cover of Get It On Bang a Gung, and the other one's like an old like R&B tune or something.
Get it on, bang it on.
But there's some really great videos of the bass player tracking his stuff for that record, and he's a great player.
Yeah, he's fucking... Maybe that's who Johnny No Name in Killers was listening to some Duran Duran when he was playing this song.
Yeah. And man, I hate their hair. Their hair is just fucking douchey. I just want to punch all these guys in the dick.
I'd watch that.
One by one, just like step up. I'm pushing you right in the fucking mushroom tip, man. You fucking dickheads. I don't like people who take themselves too seriously. I can't stand that. And
that's
this
my
is
issue with Kanye.
Looking at these dickheads, it's like they look like they have no sense of humor about themselves.
Yeah, imagine like someone's like, you want to come backstage and hang out with the Killers? And be like, fuck no. Fuck no.
I'll just go in the back alley and slit my wrists.
I'd rather talk to a wall.
Fuck.
A wall will have more personality.
And I picture sleazy industry slugs fucking hanging off of them, trying to leech off of them.
Ugh. You can definitely just picture them smoking cigarettes and blowing it right in your face.
Yeah, definitely. Bunch of pretentious cocksuckers.
Yeah.
This first verse...
Yes.
I hate this uneven rhyme scheme. And I think that it's one of these things where if it were done with intention, it's probably smart, but I doubt that it was. Every time I hear it, the way they take advantage of the presumption that they set up. So, for example, the first rhyme group, breaking my back just to know your name. 17 tracks now I've had it with this game. I'm breaking my back just to know your name. Right? So that's a group of 3, and you expect there to be a fourth that does another aim. So name, game, name, this. And that frustrates the shit out of me. You know? Every time I get to this, I think, these guys have no idea what they're doing. Now, maybe it's, I purposefully did that. I don't think so. And then this missed this, and then on to the next section. So just that name, game, name, this, miss, this, just bugs the ever-living shit out of me. It's like I want that third name to resolve, and every time he gets to this, I'm just like, fuck you, stop, moving on.
I think for me, it's more the fact that it just keeps repeating a lot of the same shit that I just kind of lose interest in. I don't care what you're saying. Like you just said this, and then you said that, and then you said this again. And then you're saying that, and then you're saying this again. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's very, and I'm not going to totally fault him for this, but it's very much one of these things where he's saying things that that just sounds cool.
Yeah.
What does it mean? It just sounds cool, whatever. And, that's not always the worst thing in the world.
No. Like I said, the Noel Gallagher argument.
Bring it back down tonight. That's just a throwaway rock guy line.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything, but I don't think it really has to. Makes for a good pre-chorus kind of thing. When you just throw something in there that's like, that just sounds cool. But then he tries to do something after that he tries to make sense of this garbage and say, never thought I'd let a rumor ruin my moonlight. And that's like, bullshit. I call bullshit on your moonlight line,
Yeah.
He's trying to take this bullshit line that sounds cool that I'm like actually on board for and then try to turn it into something that relates back to his stupid song. And first of all, I had to listen to that line probably about 10 times to figure out what the fuck he was saying. It's set very poorly.
Which one? Never thought I'd let a rumor ruin my night? My moonlight?
My moonlight. Yeah, if it was night, it probably would make sense. But instead, it's moonlight. And it's set so poorly, the emphasis is all jacked up.
Yeah.
So it's not lying in the melody in a way that matches the emphasis of the natural language. So it's just like, what the fuck are you saying, bro?
Yeah, the emphasis is on light rather than moon.
Yeah.
So
I never thought I'd...
So I guess... It might understand. I mean, this song is about a guy who's in a club. Sounds like he's in a club, listening to music.
Right.
There's some music playing, and he likes it. He sees a girl that he wants to fuck,
mm-hmm.
but he can't get her attention. because there's no reason why he just can't. And then someone tells him that she has a boyfriend who looked like his girlfriend that he had in February of last year, but that's not, like, everybody knows that, so it's okay. Why? What the fuck are you talking about?
So based on what on the Spotify, this is one of those songs that has a about the lyrics thing.
Okay.
So I was reading that while I was listening to it. So apparently, all that stuff up until, he's at a club, he's trying to get in on a girl. She doesn't really care. She's not paying attention. And apparently, Brandon Flowers had enough femininity about him, about his style, which actually I don't really see in the video. He doesn't seem particularly effeminate.
Okay, yeah. This is what you read.
Seems like a pretentious dick.
Yeah, this isn't your interpretation.
This is Spotify's interpretation.
Got you. Okay.
So I guess people confused him for a lady, and so I think they're talking about him. And perhaps the rumor is that's ruining his moonlight is that he's a lady, and that that's why he can't get any play because people think he's a girl.
That's not very clear here because...
No, it's not.
Because somebody told me that you had a boyfriend who looked like a girlfriend that he used to have. So
yeah, I think that's supposed to be from somebody else saying to somebody else about him. Oh my God,
this is such a fucking stupid song. Ah!
I know. So that's my what I made out of this muckbuck.
I fucking hated this song before you just said that. And that just made I actually felt my blood boil. I'm actually red right now with anger. Oh!
Pixie dust, bro. Pixie dust.
I just always hated that fucking line. I mean, I used to make fun of it all the time. Somebody told me I fucked your boyfriend who was your girlfriend. Like, I would just always make up, because it's just such a stupid fucking line in the first place.
It's very stupid. And here's the thing. That's the reasoning. But I really feel like this is one of those situations. Yeah, fan it off. Walk it off, bro. This is one of those situations where it's like he made up some bullshit.
Yeah, and has to justify it in the end afterwards.
Then he gets asked about it all the time because it got popular. So he has to come up with some kind of thing to tell people. So he comes up with the meaning afterwards. And really, it's just like, I don't know. That's just the bullshit that came off the top of my head. And, that's a less compelling answer in an interview.
Yeah. See, I'm telling you, I hate to say this, I know you don't like him, but Noel Gallagher, he'll be like, I read it off of a fucking sign when I was walking over before I wrote the lyrics. Doesn't mean anything. And everyone's like, oh, fuck you, you asshole, I love that song. He's like, yeah, well, doesn't mean it's a bad song. Yeah. That honesty about Noel is one of the things I like about him. I respect about him because he's not going to make up some bullshit about it because he doesn't give a fuck what you think about his lyrics or... He doesn't. That's what part of why I like Noel so much. I know that people may disagree with me about that, but I love the fact that he literally doesn't fucking care. He's just, hey, fuck you. I did this and you like it. Hey, it's not my fault you like it. I did my job by writing a good song and you felt and you liked it. So don't be mad at me. Noel Gallagher, I want to suck your dick. That little white uncircumcised dick of yours, I'm sure that it is.
Bad teeth, small penis. Hashtag bad teeth, small penis.
I can't believe I haven't put any hashtags down. Yep, got it.
That's a throwback hashtag.
Is it? All right, We're putting it back on here for this one. All right. All right, do we have to go through the lyrics? I don't think we do. I think we've said enough about that.
No. I think that's the most maybe that's a
good
about it.
That's a good segue for our lyrical rewrite.
Yes. So, lyric rewrite, JP, you wanna hit me with it?
See if I got this right. Okay.
I'm excited.
I also did misplace some emphasizing.
You kind of have to though
to make this one work, but
no. If you'd placed it right, it wouldn't sound like the song.
So. Now everyone tells me that I am a douchebag who smells like a ball bag, wearing a jockstrap steady for 1 year. I drink from urinals and swallow testicles. Now flush me down.
I drink from urinals. That's good, and I like that it comes back to pee stuff.
Yeah, it has to.
Oh yeah, that's your trademark.
Yep.
The JPP stuff. The JP stuff.
The JP stuff.
I have some related things myself. So I didn't do the rush it around. I just ended at Enchel.
Got you.
So deal with it.
Well, I just felt like it needed to end somewhere in there, and I was like, because I know that
that made sense. It was great.
And then I was like, I really wanted to flush him down the toilet, and I said, God, you're kidding me. It's flushed. Now rush it around. I'm like, now flush me down. Yeah.
That's so perfect.
Bye. Later.
That's perfect. Okay. Somebody blow me and finger my bee-hole. Shove things in my pee-hole like medicine, stationery, and headgear. This stuff is essential. I feel existential.
Now push it in and out. Push it in and out.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I talked about having a giant dildo stuck in someone's ass at the beginning of this, and then somehow it worked its way in. Get it? It worked its way into the show.
It worked its hey!
Ba-doo-ba.
Oh, alrighty. So, hashtag. So we're bringing back, was it hashtag
Bad teeth,
small penis. Right.
Hashtag zero affect. I liked that one that you said that.
Yep.
I have hashtag I hate Brandon Flowers.
I think that's solid.
That's 3.
That's good enough. Hashtag somebody blow me.
Oh, yeah. Hashtag somebody blow me. Oh, yeah.
All right, so those are our hashtags for this week. Also, hashtag lyric rewrite, so that we can find your lyric rewrite and we can shove it into our pee holes.
Yes?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so, what have we learned today, children? JP, what's something you learned from this song?
I learned many years ago from this song, I guess, and continuing on till today, that I do not understand the business of music and what is good and what people will like. There is zero correlation between the two things. Nope. It just continues to get reinforced every time we do this show.
It sure does. We keep learning that hard lesson over and over again.
Yeah, that's what I learned.
I gotta say, I'm glad this trend is over, though.
Man, me too.
I'm glad to see it go. I mean, I'm not in love with the trends that are happening now, but I'm glad this one's over.
Oh, yeah. A short story. I won't mention any names, but there was a period of time when Schwarzenegger, we were writing a song, and we needed the drum beat. We didn't write the drums because we had a new drummer in the band, and we wanted to have his input into the song so that we could, involve them in the writing process. And so we sent the track, Sans drums, to the drummer, and the drum beat that came back was a disco beat. And we were like, I think he might have misunderstood what we meant.
Wow.
It was moderately disconcerting, but it was, this was happening at the time. And
yeah, that does not seem like it would go with the music that you guys write.
No. And it was, I somewhere have the file somewhere, which is just like, what the fuck?
I feel like you can throw in that little vibe maybe a little bit in a bridge if the riff kind of messes. I don't know, but no.
No, it was I almost felt like, did you actually try? that was my feeling. Was like, did you try? Sickata. And I was like, did you listen to the track before you wrote this, or did you just like program the drums and slide it in there and say, here you go, got it, you nailed it? No, you didn't nail it. No.
What's the Tool song? I think
it's Sober.
Words.
It's Sober.
Oh yeah, and Sober.
But it works there because it's slow and like it's dark and brooding, and it doesn't feel like a disco beat in that song.
It definitely does not.
It doesn't have that.
But I mean, there's an example of where it makes sense. So it's like in my mind, I could hear it working on a certain level, but I get that that was not what was going on here.
No.
What did I learn? I learned. I don't know. Did I learn anything? I learned that he is Mormon, I think. And that's where but heaven ain't close in a place like this factors in, because people were questioning, how can you live a rock and roll lifestyle and be Mormon at the same time, blah, blah, blah. And also the fact that they're from Vegas, right? Sin City.
Oh, yes.
And he's religious guy. So I learned that he's religious guy. And he kind of went, yeah, but, that was his thing. He's like, he's religious, but, I'm human, I'm not like, I'm not a robot. I sing like one.
Yeah, I don't know. He's religious in like a Trump way, maybe.
He's religious in a by name only kind of way.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. Because somebody told me that I fucked your asshole.
Ha ha! I like that.
Thought it was pussy.
But I stuffed it in the wrong hole.
Oh, in the wrong place.
All right, let's check out this song fucking jams.
Colon.
Oh, shit.
That's okay. Oh, shit. It actually worked really well, by the way. You got to save it. Don't change it.
A pleasant alternative.
Don't change it.
All right, we'll see.
Because of the lack of prowess in the vocals of this song, I was suddenly reminded distinctly of people who can sing. People who have the ability to come up with interesting melodies that made me want to be a singer when I was a youthful young man. And the song that I picked is a song from... It is from a soundtrack, actually.
Soundtrack, you say?
A soundtrack for the movie Singles. It was released in June of 1992. And
I have an interesting story about that record.
The song that I am choosing is a song by Chris Cornell called Seasons. And Chris Cornell is one of those singers for me that, well, he can fucking write a melody and he can fucking sing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And this song always had this very, very, I'd be surprised. This song is acoustic guitar driven. It's just guitars and vocals, and the feel, the vibe, everything about this song it's so ethereal. And I've always loved this song, and it comes back every once in a while. It came on at the tattoo shop last time I was there, and I was like, oh my God, this fucking song is so goddamn amazing. In November, when I went and saw Temple of the Dog play, they played this song in the set, which was super awesome because you never thought I'd ever hear this song ever played live. And it was really cool to hear, them playing it. I think probably Mike McCready and Chris playing it together just with the acoustic guitars and singing. And I don't know, a person who can write a melody. I've always loved the way Chris writes a melody because when I hear his melodies, it makes me want to sing them. I just hear it and I want to sing. It was when I was a kid, it made me want to sing. I just would always hear those things and just start singing. And there's so much, feeling behind Chris Cornell's vocals all the time.
I love how in many of his bands and projects, he can take something that's so crazy and then put a melody over it that makes so much sense.
I don't know how he does it. He does it all the time.
Yeah, especially in Soundgarden.
Yeah.
Like that early shit, fucking Bad Motorfinger stuff, Ultra Mega OK stuff, those crazy fucking riffs. And then he's singing these melodies that just make so much sense.
And that's the thing that shows, that's like how, the level of talent of somebody that can do that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And,
totally. And then on top of it, he would fucking play those riffs.
I don't know how he did that. That's
and sing. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
I don't know how.
That's insane.
I don't know how. Yeah, especially with that acrobatic way of singing that he possesses.
Yeah.
I mean, there is one thing about Chris I like to make fun of is that half the time it sounds like he's singing with his mouth closed, as if he's not opening his mouth. But he's not limited to just that thing. That might be like the low part of the song, and then it just expands into the guy's range is fucking insane. It's fucking insane.
Unbelievable. And definitely one of the best singers in rock.
Oh, and it's just the glaring difference between someone like Brandon Flowers and it just shows the degradation of popular music in so many ways. Because Soundgarden was top of the game at one point, and then and now it's vocoders and fucking one note melodies, and that's all you need.
Cocksuckers.
So yes, Seasons from Chris Cornell on the Singles soundtrack from 1992. Actually, that whole soundtrack is pretty fucking awesome.
Oh, it's classic. It's fucking classic. That Pearl Jam song, State of Love and Trust.
That's
one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs of all time.
There's so many cool things on this record.
So good.
Probably the worst songs on there are the Paul Westerberg songs.
Yeah, I don't really.
They're forgettable songs. But I mean, there's the Smashing Pumpkins song at the end is fucking amazing, which doesn't appear on any of the Smashing Pumpkins records, called Drown. And then there's
that one's great.
The May This Be Love by Jimi Hendrix. That song is that's fucking amazing.
Love that song.
I mean, this record was, I have a lot of people that will contend with me that hate all these bands, the grunge era, the metal musicians and metal people that I know. Yeah, dude, metal. You gotta understand.
Come on,
metal people are fucking wicked stuck up. They're very close-minded a lot of times, and a good song is a good song, no matter who writes it.
Damn straight. And funny singles, right? First of all, the soundtrack is classic.
Amazing.
Fucking classic. It's a masterpiece. And the movie got so much attention for having the cameos of all those artists.
Yeah.
And at the height of when that shit was happening. But the story is the biggest bummer of all time. I don't know. I always go, I'll give it another try. And then I realize, oh, this movie sucks. It's like if you just distill it down to just the cameos and maybe the Brendan Fraser and
Matt Dillon.
Oh, is that who it was? Matt Dillon?
Bridget
and
Fonda or something? Who? I don't even.
Bridget Fonda.
Is it Bridget Fonda?
Yes. Yeah. Mrs. Elfman.
Oh yeah.
Wow. If you just distill like that part of it together, that's fine. But like the Keir Sedgwick and whatever his ass name is, that thing, it's such a goddamn bummer.
Winona Ryder and wait, is that right?
No. Winona Ryder's not in it. Keir Sedgwick.
I always get this one confused, but there was another movie that was exactly the same movie.
Oh, Reality Bites?
That's the one. Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, that one's a bummer too.
They're the same movie as far as I can tell.
Yeah, it's like such a goddamn downer. And it's not this cool, youthful thing that you think it would be. They're like 30-somethings who have jobs and are boring and they're like not that into each other, but they bang and she gets pregnant and then he's freaking out and they're freaking out and then they get in a horrible car accident and she miscarries. Like, yay, what comedy.
Man, I think I forgot what this movie was. I don't even remember
exactly.
That shit.
Everyone forgets that part because it's so forgettable and it's such a downer.
Damn.
I get this feeling like it was one of these things where someone had this story that was like this downer movie and then somebody else from like the studio said, here's what we do. Seattle's real hot. We'll set it in Seattle, and we'll cameo all these grunge bands, and it'll make it hip and interesting, and we can sell it behind that. And it's like that part of it ended up being the part that made it popular and interesting, and the actual original story makes it horrible. So just don't watch the movie.
Yeah.
Go on YouTube and look up the cameos. Only watch those. Listen to the soundtrack and just don't deal with the rest of it.
Yeah, I like the name of the band. There was Citizen Dick. That was a good
Citizen Dick.
That was a good name for a band.
Touch Me, I'm Dick.
Yes.
And that's a funny story because the song came from Jeff Ament and the other guys from Pearl Jam were sitting around trying to think of fake song names to use in the movie. That's based on that Mudhoney song, Touch Me, I'm Sick.
Yep.
And so they're just coming up with these fake songs. And then one of the songs ended up being a Soundgarden song. Spoon Man. That was one of the fake names they came up with. And then Chris Cornell wrote a song to it. It was the name first, and then...
Which by the way, is a really cool fucking song, but the lyrics are so stupid in that song.
Of course, but it's like he wrote it to this fake name, you know? So it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess it shows a sense of humor, but if you don't know that backstory, I remember being like, this song is fucking stupid. Come together with your hands.
Good riff, though.
Oh, great. The musically is very cool, but lyrically you're like, what? All my friends are brown and red. All my friends are Indian. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Skeleton and whatever, dude. Shut up. Get to the spoon solo. I like that part.